Hey, this is Chris Beyer.
Chris Bowling, how are you, CB?
Good. We're in focus this morning with Brooke Hendrickx from EveryChild. Brooke, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you want to take a moment and tell us a little bit about who you are and your background, what you do, and maybe step in a little bit about who is EveryChild.
Yeah. So I am the Vice President of Development Communications for EveryChild, formerly Child Abuse Council.
Yes.
We have been in the Quad Cities area, Molina, Rock Island, for over 45 years.
Wow.
EveryChild is basically here to try to eliminate child abuse in our community. And we do that through prevention efforts. So supporting families, helping the community members learn how to keep kids safe, kind of doing the front end work so that we don't have to do the therapy and the healing part that we also do right now, but basically trying to work ourselves out of a job.
Yeah, I appreciate the way that you said that too, because as we've gotten to know EveryChild and your mission, it's sad to see the amount of services you have to provide, but I also know that it's making an impact. And child abuse goes a lot further than just physical violence is what I think a lot of people think of. You do so many things to make sure that kids are healthy and safe and can grow up in a good environment.
Yes. Yeah. And we don't just see, because we do provide therapy for kids 0 to 5, but we don't just see kids who've been abused or neglected. Really, it's any kind of childhood trauma. So divorce, house fires, car accidents, death in the family, a pandemic. So all kinds of stuff.
Well, and I know the rebrand was key with that. I mean, just as EveryChild makes it just that much more expansive in terms of what you do to help children.
Yeah.
So we're in the month of April. I know that's Child Abuse Awareness Month and a big month of focus for EveryChild. Could you talk a little bit about how the community could support that awareness and maybe what that initiative means as that is the prime focus in the month of April?
So April is a month where we kind of reflect as a community on how much we should be trying to keep kids safe and what we can do as a community to keep kids safe. So during the month of April, we try to focus on, family bonding activities, reducing stress in families for those activities. And then we have pinwheel gardens planted all over the community. We planted, I think by next Tuesday, we will have planted over 1,600 pinwheels in the community in 22 different gardens.
Wow.
That's good.
So you might see those blue spinny things all over.
Yes.
We also have 2 more Dine for a Cause nights coming up. Next Wednesday is at Poncheros. And then the following Monday, I think that's April 24th.
Yes, it'll be the 24th. Yep.
Is at Portillo's.
Okay, very cool. But yeah, we'll do our best to highlight that. I know we'll tie a few things back to your website, and I know there's a lot of good information on how to support the organization and the awareness month itself. So as we're looking at the month of April, I know that's a main focus, a big initiative for you, but is there other things that the community could do to keep this awareness going throughout the year and not just make it a single month?
Yes, because it really shouldn't just be a single month. It should be every day. Yeah, I think just being aware of the kids in your life, like how they're developing, how they're engaging, how they're acting, behaviors. And then with that, also paying attention to the families that are around you. So your neighbors, your friends, are they under a lot of stress? Do they need a break? I know there's a lot of parents out there with a lot of littles, and that's a really, really hard time to be a parent.
Yes.
Especially if you have toddlers. Their brains are going 100 miles a minute and your brain's going 5 miles a minute.
Yes.
So
that's a very good point.
Yeah. So it does get stressful. For parents, understanding that it's okay to ask for help, that you should ask for help.
Yeah.
This is not a job that we were ever meant to do by ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
No, those are good topics. And coming out of the pandemic, it has to have just been that much more difficult for the stress level for families. I mean, we've talked with our daughter about, these things are not normal. This is not, we don't typically do these things, but for a child, that's all they've known is this new world of post-COVID and how things are interrupted. I think even just helping them understand what life means now is an important thing. So Chris, I know you've got a couple of questions about their gala, and then I know our traditional question we finish up with.
Yes. So tell us about your gala coming up, which unfortunately, Chris and I are going to be out of town, but we would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so our Celebrate Every Child Gala is being held on April 27th at 5:30 at the Waterfront Convention Center in Bettendorf. It's just a night to kind of celebrate the great work that the community and our staff have done over the past year, and
Yes.
then also be able to support future work, so raise money for that future work.
Excellent.
We'll have a wine pull, a silent auction. The silent auction is actually all going to be online, and that'll start next week
Okay.
online. And there's a live auction. We have Jana Stenzel as our auctioneer, so she'll
Oh,
be there for the
awesome.
live auction.
Yeah.
Decker Plain and Jim Hampton are the MCs.
Yeah.
They're always
That alone is
fun.
going to make it fun.
Yes.
Exactly.
Let's see, we'll present our Champions for Every Child awards.
Awesome.
Those were actually those will be given to Diana Salins with Birth to 5 Region 28.
Okay.
And the guardian ad litem for Rock Island County, who is the advocate and the guardian for all kids in foster care.
Awesome.
That sounds like a great event. We apologize that we'll both be out of town, but next year we would absolutely look forward to attending.
I will put both of your names on the biggest live auction item.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, Chris, as we finish up, we've got one question that we always like to ask our In Focus guests. Go ahead.
All right. You've had that day. We all have those, right? Is there a motto? Is there a poem? Is there a phrase that kind of just anchors you to help you get through that day?
I really like the phrase, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. So that ability to just kind of refocus on what's really important, make sure I do that well, and make sure that that piece gets done well, and then the rest we'll figure it out later.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. Yes, especially in the busyness, the hectic life, work, all of those things. Yes, being able to prioritize is good. Well, Brooke, we appreciate you spending some time in focus with Chris and I. It was great to get to know you more and highlight Every Child and the great work you're doing in our communities.
Yes, thanks
again for having me.
All right, thank you
very much.